You do not have to be confident to begin. Begin anyway and let confidence catch up with you. And I think everyone needs to know that, frankly.
Quick pause, because this episode is supported by Stort AI. Most businesses know AI is probably going to help their business in one way or the other. The problem is they're so busy running their business, they don't know where to start. They don't know what questions to ask. That's where Stort AI comes in. We sit down with businesses, look at how things actually work day to day, and identify simple ways to save time, reduce admin, and improve systems using AI and other automation tools. There's no jargon or complicated technology. It's just practical ideas to make life just a little bit easier as a business owner. If you're curious about what AI could do for your business, have a look at Stort AI in the show notes. Okay, back to the episode. Welcome to the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast, the show where we shine a light on the incredible businesses, community leaders, and local legends shaping our town. I'm your host, James O'Donnell, and today we are joined by Emma Kremnitz. Emma, great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Emma, for those of us who don't know you yet, who are you and what do you do here in Bishop Stortford?
So I am Emma. I am a former actor and I am now a singing teacher, and I run a choir in Bishop Stortford, which I love. So yes, that's me in a nutshell.
Awesome. What's your choir, Emma?
So I run the Sing Space Musical Theatre Choir. So we're relatively new. We're coming up to our 3-year birthday. So I celebrate our birthday every year. So yeah, in September, we'll have been together for 3 years. And I think what kind of makes us a little bit unique is that all of the choir leads, we typically have performed in the West End, or we teach people who perform in the West End, or sometimes we're a bit of both. So we kind of have those kind of musical theatre connections in a way that perhaps other choirs don't. And we strictly only sing musical theatre.
What a great setup. What was the spark to get started?
So I think I'm a really big fan of singing. It is literally my job and has been my job for my entire adult life. And I have known for years, but more recently, more science comes out explaining, how good for you, for your health in all the ways, physical and mental health, singing is for you. And I think over the years, I've taught for a very long time now. I have met a number of people over the years who didn't think they could sing. They may have been told as a child that they were a terrible singer, and kind of coming to singing later in life, often for a number of people has kind of been revelatory. So I think that's kind of my driving force, because I can't teach everyone. I've only got enough time to teach one-to-one. I teach about 40 people a week. I can't do any more than that. That's an awful lot of people. So the next best thing was to start a choir. And I suppose, quite simply, one of my mates was doing it. And I was like, oh, that's fun. I'll do it too. To be fair, I had run a choir before when I was based in London, still working as an actress. I ran a choir for a little while as well. So I've always liked getting adults to sing. Don't get me wrong, I teach a lot of young people. I teach a lot of children, a lot of teenagers, but I do teach a lot of adults as well. And I think quite often for adults, life gets in the way. And being able to kind of pick up a hobby that they probably had as a child or wanted as a child can be really, really motivating, but also give people a real kind of sense of finding their place, and finding a little bit of themselves again. So I think that was kind of the driving force, just wanting to be able to kind of reach more people, and doing it through a choir is pretty awesome, actually. So yeah.
Sounds brilliant. My wife has been member of choirs in the past. As you say, life gets in the way.
Yeah.
We've got 3 kids at the moment, so we struggle to do anything for ourselves. I love the idea of musical theatre as well. I'm a complete fan of musical theatre because, and this is such a weird thing from a guy to say, I like the diction.
Yes.
I like the fact that you can hear what people are saying.
Yes.
And there is often a narrative that's happening.
Yes.
I do like it for those reasons.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's one of the reasons why, for me, it's my favourite genre of singing to teach, musical theatre. So I would consider myself a musical theatre specialist because of that. Also, I think the wonderful thing about musical theatre is you can dip into lots of different styles of music. So musical theatre kind of does actually have its roots in opera and classical singing. But also, if you think about now, like the musical theatre that is really popular at the moment, Paddington's just been written by a pop star. Moulin Rouge, it's all pop music. So we literally use every kind of vocal quality and every kind of vocal type that there possibly can be. You will get that in musical theatre. And I think that's really special because not many genres of music do that. Quite often, genres of music really do stay in their lane, and musical theatre doesn't do that. And yes, diction, very important.
This episode is supported by the Bishop Stortford community newsletter. There's so much happening in town, it's hard to keep up. New businesses opening, community events, local stories, and opportunities for all of us to get involved and make Bishop Stortford a great place to live. That's why we created a free weekly newsletter that brings together the best of Bishop Stortford in one place. There's no endless scrolling, no hunting through Facebook groups, just the stories, events, and local updates that matter. If you'd like to stay connected to what's happening in Bishop Stortford, sign up using the link in the show notes. Okay, back to the episode. So if I'm out there and I'm a fan of musical theatre, I want to get into a community, I want to, sing my heart out. Where are you meeting? How often are you getting together?
Yeah.
What's the dynamic?
So we meet, we're only term time. I only work term time because I like to fit around what my daughter needs. We don't typically stop for half terms. We meet Thursday evenings. It's 7:45 till 9:15, and we're at the pre-prep school at Bishop Stortford College. So we're nice and self-contained. We've got a car park, very short walk into the room. So yeah, that's where we are.
And what songs are you working on at the moment?
So this term we have learned already Footloose. We're doing a Phantom medley at the moment. Our Phantom medley's been really exciting because actually over the last little while, last term we did a lot of Disney, and then this term we started off with Footloose. Oh, and Joyful from Sister Act 2. And then we've just done a Phantom medley, which has been really fun because over the last, as I was kind of alluding to, we've been doing a lot of kind of more pop-based musicals. And so to then do something much more traditional like Phantom of the Opera has been really fun because one of the things about coming to a choir like mine is I'm going to teach you vocal technique. I don't want to hear songs sung wrong. I don't want to hear American songs sung in a British accent, for example, so if there is an accent to be sung in, we sing it in that accent. And then whereas with something like Phantom of the Opera, the roots are much more classical, leaning towards opera. So that's what the choir's going for with this one. So yeah, that's what we're doing this term. We'll revisit some of our content from last term because we are prepping for like an end of term concert that we'll do at the Methodist Church in July. What's the date? July the 18th. And then in December, very excitingly, myself and one of my colleagues who runs the Cambridge St Ives choir and another colleague who runs our two Essex choirs, so Chelmsford and Colchester, we're bringing our choirs together to perform at Ely Cathedral, which is very exciting. And very scary, I'm not going to lie. So we've hired that. We've got a wonderful guest in Gina Beck. Now, Gina Beck is a total West End leading lady. She's done every leading role. She's played Christine in Phantom. She's played Maria in Sound of Music, Cosette in Les Mis, Glinda in Wicked. I mean, you name it, she's done the role, and she is a gorgeous human being, and she's coming to be our special guest that evening. But fundamentally, the evening is all about the choirs. So the choirs are going to sing together. We should have between 150 and 200 singers in that amazing cathedral. So it's very exciting. So we do lots of nice things. We do lots of nice gigs. We're also at the carnival actually, which will be the first time we're doing it. It's a very small little group of us, and we're going to sing up and down that high street. So I hope that goes really well. Like I say, it's definitely the first time we're doing something like that. But very exciting.
Well, if people want to join in, where do they need to go online to sign up and get talking with you?
So we're at the website, Sing Space Musical Theatre Choir. Equally, you can just email me or find me on Instagram or Facebook. But but I think probably the easiest thing is just to remember Sing Space Choir. That's probably the easiest thing.
Awesome. What we'll do is we'll put the links to your socials and the website in the show notes. So if anybody just wants to click straight through to that, they can do that. Emma, that's been wonderful. Thanks for explaining everything about the work that you're doing. Are you ready for some Stortford Spotlight questions now?
Yes, thank you.
This episode is being supported by one of my businesses, a brilliant local business called Stortbox. If you've ever moved house, you'll know the pain of hunting for cardboard boxes, building them, taping them up, and then figuring out what to do with them afterwards. Stortbox makes moving simpler with strong, reusable moving crates delivered straight to your door and collected when you're finished. Less stress, less waste, and a much easier move. It's a local business helping local people move smarter. So have a look at Stortbox in the show notes below and see if it can make your next move a little bit easier. Okay, back to the episode. Excellent. These are 3 super fast questions that we ask every guest that comes onto the Bishop Stortford Community podcast. First question. If you could put one sentence on a billboard in Jackson Square, what would it say and who needs to hear it the most?
So I don't think this is a particularly unique quote, but I think it's a super important and useful quote, which is, you do not have to be confident to begin anyway, and let confidence catch up with you. And I think everyone needs to know that, frankly. So yes, I would love to put that up.
I love that. There's one in judo which relates to that, which is action creates reaction.
Yes.
So you've got to do something to make something happen.
Completely.
Brilliant. Love that, Emma. Love that. Question 2. Where do you go in Stortford that you secretly hope never gets too popular?
So I found this quite a difficult question because that is so not my style. I'm like, if I like something, I'm like, oh my God, everyone needs to come. So I just want to kind of highlight South Mill Arts because I think they do such an array of things. And I don't think people always recognise that. I think people think of it as a theatre. I know lots of people use it, youth groups, the local Amdram. I know we get touring in, but I think the cinema element of it, I think is really important. They show National Theatre at home, they show ballet. It's a real insight into theatre that you wouldn't necessarily see. I also want to shout out the Roxy Cinema as well, because I think, again, like, let's get people there. And then the Bishop Stortford Sinfonia, don't see enough people there going to their concerts. So Bishop Stortford has this orchestra. I think the players are mainly pros and semi-pros, and they quite often bring learning students along to play. But I always feel like it's not, I feel like it's a similar audience every time. And I would love to see more people there. So I've kind of turned that question around. So apologies, but yes.
No, this is ideal. You know, the whole point of the podcast is to shine a light on people that are doing things. So the more that we can shine a light on the different spaces that you're talking about there. I'm trying to get Roxy to come on the podcast to talk to them about how they've, you know, restarted the cinema. South Mill Arts have been on in various guises, but we're trying to do one about their kind of summer program. The orchestra, though, that's new to me, so I would love to, you know, make contact with them
Bishop
and get them on the show.
Sinfonia, I'll drop you their website because I think that's really cool. It's different.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and the more people that we can open their eyes to these kind of things, the better. And that's the whole point of what I'm trying to do. So thank you for you know, talking about those on the podcast. Last question. Who's doing something special in town that more people need to know about?
I think the group that are trying to save and develop Water Lane Hall into a community arts hub, I think that is really special. I only recently came across that, mainly because one of my choir members sent it to me as a venue to think about for concerts. So I'm just quietly watching what they're up to. But I think that's a wonderful idea. And like looking at the plans and things that they're trying to kind of bring to life, I think that is super exciting. So I think I would love more people to know about that because I don't think that's very well known at this point in time. So there we go.
No, we had Graham on the podcast talking about, you know, starting the bid to get Water Lane Hall in community hands, and to, you know, the project that they've got, make that space something that the whole community can be proud of. You know, anything that people can do to highlight that and to get involved, the better. Definitely.
I think the more, because I think this area loves the arts. It really does. I mean, I can't believe how many choirs are in the area, how many amateur dramatic groups, both for adults and for children. So I think, you know, there's a want for it, and the more venues, the better, the more places that, you know, people can do and create. Yeah. So yeah, I feel very excited about that.
Awesome. Well, we'll give them a shout out. We'll tag them as well, and we'll continue supporting them from this side. Emma, where's the best place again for people to find you online and follow along with the work you're doing?
So the main website for the choir is Sing Space Musical Theatre Choir, or you can find us just via the Sing Space.
Emma, thank you so much. That's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem, Emma. If you've enjoyed this episode, the best way you can support the show, the podcast, is to hit follow, leave a quick review on YouTube, Apple, or Spotify, wherever you're listening to this, and then share it on your socials, or maybe share it with someone in town who you think should be getting out to a choir and singing their heart out with a lovely community group. And if you've got a local legend, someone who's investing in the community that you think we should feature next on the podcast, drop their name in the comments below and I can reach out to them and invite them on the show again. Emma, thank you again for joining us on the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast.
Pleasure. Thank you.